watching famous games on YouTube.
What's going on, my friends? Welcome back, and it's been a crazy week. I really haven't been around, but yesterday, just not a great move for the position in GameStop. Let's go over it. So coming into yesterday, I had a position where I was, I had this condor on the 100, 120, 180, 190 condor. Yesterday morning, I decided I would adjust and move the condor up. So if we go back to yesterday on the chart here, let me get out of the way. So yesterday morning, we were right here, and I decided I would adjust my strikes. So instead of having the upside strikes be the 180, 190, I would change it to the 200, 210. And it's a good thing I did, because we had this huge rip to the upside. So if you look at my position here now, and let me move this over so you can see it a little bit better. You can see that the upside strike now is here, is the 200, 210. And we've actually blown through that. We're in the middle of it right now. So this position is really kind of blew up in my face a little bit here. In fact, if we had closed 225, it would have been bad. Now we still have time, right? Time left for this to kind of go back down below 200, and we'll see if that happens. But in the meantime, if you look at my trade activity here, you can see me yesterday adjusting and rolling my strikes to the upside, which turned out to be a timely move. I kind of, even though this was a bad P&L day for me yesterday, I did kind of get lucky that I adjusted. So let's go to an activity right here. Let's see. Let's go to activity from yesterday, and you can see me here. This here is me rolling the put strike higher from the 120, 110 to the 130, 120. And then this here, if we move down here, you can see me rolling the call strikes higher here. So what I'm doing is I'm adjusting my condor, and you can see me doing more of it here. I'm adjusting my condor, moving the upper limit higher. So instead of being the upper limit of 180, 190, now we're 200, 210. So I really did move it up 20 points, right? Which was a good move, because we had a $45 up move yesterday. And so even though I traded well and was able to adjust, I actually moved it ahead of, if you look at the timing here, you can see me moving this stuff around 9:53 in the morning. So I actually did move my position and adjust the upside and move my condor up by 20 points earlier in the morning before we got the big move up. So I must have had some inkling that we were going to move higher, but even adjusting that, I still took some heat, right? Because we did blow like halfway through. Actually, we got up to 225, which was all the way through my condor and to the upside. We have recovered back down to 205 now, and no harm, no foul. If we move back below 200 again, then we're back in business and everything's cool. But if we have another day up 45, then we're in big trouble. Now, I had to be away from the computer, and I was not around when we made this move higher here, so I was unable to adjust, and I was in fact driving when I saw this move, and I had to make the decision: do I pull over on the side of the road and try to make some adjustment here, or do I just let it kind of ride? And coming into the close yesterday, I made the decision to not adjust the position. So I was driving and trying to look at my phone in heavy traffic, and we were bouncing between like around 213 here, 212, and I decided I would just let it ride for the time being. And we have backed off since then a little bit. If we look so far this morning, right now I'm broadcasting, it's 9 a.m. And we can see we've traded about 174,000 shares, which is actually a lot for GameStop. We've had really low volume lately. Now, yesterday, volume really spiked. I think, I'm not exactly positive how many shares traded yesterday. I think it was somewhere around 15 million shares. Let's see if we can pull that. Let me see that if I can pull that up on the side here while I'm talking to you. But definitely like an eventful day in GameStop. And you know what? On no news, there really was no reported news story that perpetuated this move. And the fact that there was no news story behind this big move is part of the reason why I did not adjust my position and why I'm kind of going to play the fact that this could come back down and kind of retrace a little bit this move. You know, if there was some big perpetuating catalyst for this move, then that I could figure out, then I would probably make some adjustment. But since there's no real catalyst for the move, and we do have earnings coming up fairly soon, and I don't think people are going to commit one way or the other ahead of earnings too much. Now, you know, the thing with a stock like GameStop and these meme stocks is earnings is not as important with them as with other stocks, right? There's other factors at play here. There's this momentum Reddit stuff going on that seems to override any single news story or earnings, right? We get moves based on just a flurry of momentum kind of perpetuated by individuals online, and thus this kind of makes it so earnings aren't as important as in other stocks. You know, other stocks, the whole narrative is derived around earnings and financial numbers, whereas these stocks, you know, your Planetaire, your AMC, it's just this sentiment stuff that just moves everything. And the other reason why I'm not as phased by this up move and an AMC yesterday, right? So it's almost like this isn't specific to this stock. We've got like just a meme stock move up, right? Both AMC wasn't up as much yesterday. I think we had this up somewhere around 27%, with AMC up about 20%, but still AMC exhibiting similar behavior, and once again, not seemingly based on one news story, but more just based on, is that better? So I'm not so bright. There we go. Not based on one news story, but just based on this sentiment and momentum. So we'll see if this comes back into orbit. If we look at I'm not a big chart guy. I never have been, but let's take just a look at this chart. And even though I'm not a big chart guy, I still do look at charts because you need to know your charts, even if you're not basing a whole lot of stuff on that. So let's remove studies, and we can see. All right, so here's the move in June, and then we've got this big pop here, right? So what does that tell you? It seems like we're still maybe on a downtrend, but it's hard to say, right? I mean, it's really kind of all over the place. If we back this up even out to a year, you can see, all right, there we have it. Now, if you were to go online and look at the forums, everybody would be saying, oh, next stop, 300, 500, 1,000, 10,000. That's not really the way the stock market usually works. And, I consider this kind of like pretty high priced down around 150. So, obviously, there's going to be more publicity surrounding this on earnings. There hasn't been a turnaround for this company yet. Certainly, the fundamentals are that this company's been able to raise a lot of money due to the stock rallying. They've been able to get out of debt and raise a lot of money. Whether they're able to turn their business around, though, is a longer-term prospect and something that we will not know for some time. In the meantime, any moves in the stock are pretty speculative in nature. So we'll see what happens. Certainly not a good move for the old P&L. I took definitely a hit yesterday. It could be no harm, no foul if we kind of fade back below 200 and stay below 200. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. We'll see what happens today. Anyways, a lot of action, not necessarily good yesterday for me in GameStop. Meanwhile, the VIX kind of hanging in orbit here. The 16 to 17 area seems pretty comfortable for the VIX, and I wouldn't be surprised if we just stay in that range for a while now. UVXY flirting with the 20 level. We were flirting with 30 for a while, but now flirting with 20, and looks like we could make it down to that level. Wow, look at this little outlier here, 434. That's definitely a bad piece of data that somehow snuck its way into the computer here. But if we quickly pull up our VIX Central chart and we look at the contango level right now, we can see just a real healthy VIX chart. I would call this a healthy term structure. Almost 10% contango, and thus look for your UVXY and your VXXs to just continue to decay at a healthy rate. Now, that chart looks about as healthy. Well, it doesn't look like anything with me in the middle. That chart looks about as healthy as you could have for a term structure, right? Just a nice slope upward with the front month. 3 weeks left till expiration and almost 10% contango. So a real healthy chart, meaning that there's no indication that the market could not just continue to rally from here in an overall sense. If we do look at the market, we did have a little down move a few days ago, but it's just a blip on the chart, right? Look at that, just a blip on the chart as we continue to move higher. So it seems like all systems go for the market to move higher here. There's that Moderna pop and then back, and the Tesla pulled back and then seemingly to move higher as well. So market looking healthy, not a whole lot going on other than big rip up in GameStop. AMC was indicated higher, but kind of pulled back a little bit. GameStop offered down about 6 points, which isn't a whole lot percentage-wise considering the up move of 45 points yesterday that really was not good for the position here. But we'll see if we recover a little bit today. Once again, I currently have the 200, 210, 130, 120 condor on in GameStop. So looking for the stock to move back below 200 and would like it to move like below like 190 would be great, but just back below 200 would be certainly helpful right now. For the old position, as I did not adjust yesterday, I will probably adjust a little bit today to try to protect myself, as it was not a fun day yesterday in GameStop. Currently, Greeks of short, I think 53 deltas, and since we are kind of above all the strikes, I actually am paying decay a little bit of theta, showing $5. If we roll back down below 200, we'll be collecting decay again. As we moved, as I've been talking the last few minutes, we've actually moved from 207 back to 203. So kind of moving in the right direction here, but we haven't even opened yet, so it's very early on in the day. We could go anyway. We could go back to 300. Who knows with these crazy meme stocks? But still committed to my short here as we continue watching the action. We'll see what happens today. I would love to see this go back to 190. Right now, trading 204. We'll see what happens. Thanks for joining me. I have been away for a few days, but I'm back now, and we'll see what happens moving forward. Keep it locked here for continued action in GameStop and other positions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on the show. Why not close your position when you're already up? That's a good question. essentially because I'm not up. I lost money yesterday. Lost somewhere like 30% on the position, 30 to 40%. So, yeah, I can close it and go home. I was down a little bit more, and I'm probably going to just let it ride and see what happens. The reason I'm not closing it is because I have a firm conviction that we will retrace back down below 200. So we'll have to wait and see. I will let you know what happens next. Thanks, GG, and everybody else for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.